Going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the Jey Uso situation has gotten much worse. Is ESPN unhappy with WWE? WWE is urged to push this star. Where is AJ Lee? Triple H praised, and much more. Our first story looks at the WWE Fans Are Furious. Story today takes a look at the fallout from Jey Uso's Battle Royal win on Raw, as YouTube dislikes have only increased over the past 24 hours. Jey's win was controversial to many, mainly because fans wanted to see someone new compete for the world title, and a lot of fans saw it as LA Knight's final true moment in the spotlight. While it's been correctly pointed out that the negativity towards main event Jey isn't felt in the arena, online it's a different story. As things stand, WWE's YouTube upload of Jey's Battle Royal win on Raw now has 84,000 dislikes. That's right, 84,000. This means that this most disliked video on WWE's YouTube channel from 2025 and one of the most disliked videos of all time. And there have been calls from fans on social media for WWE to pivot. This is unlikely due to the backlash predominantly being isolated to the online space. WWE may feel like the backlash isn't impacting the TV product, so they may keep on going with their current creative vision. Is it possible that the backlash is ever felt in the arenas? Again, this is unlikely. Jey is still super over at the live shows. This is one of the rare cases where the online backlash never makes it into the arenas. Now, all signs are pointing towards Jey losing the world title match against Punk, and the internet backlash to Jey's Battle Royal win will likely influence this even more. Some fans have theorized a heel turn of sorts for Jey, but with him being one of the most popular acts on the roster, it's a risky move. The probable reason that Jey is in the match with Punk is because he's a name that can afford a pinfall loss, and this pinfall loss won't impact his popularity or standing in the company whatsoever. If this was LA Knight and he lost clean to Punk, it may be a different story. So it's somewhat understandable why WWE made the call they did. However, imagine that this isn't the case and Jey Uso wins at Saturday night's main event. Up are ESPN unhappy with WWE. Earlier in this week, it was reported by Dave Meltzer that the WWE Pellies on ESPN weren't doing so great. Additionally, it was reported that WrestlePalooza, which is the debut show on the ESPN platform, was basically a flop, and ESPN were going to struggle to make a profit on the WWE deal. This report has evidently caught the attention of higher-ups in ESPN, and they've issued a formal comment on the matter to a sports journalist. According to journalist Stephen Molhausen on X, the ESPN representatives state that things are currently going well. Source ESPN in regards to WrestlePalooza and the overall numbers thus far after the two plies in response to reporting by Dave Meltzer. Things are going well and we have started strong. We don't provide the viewership specifics, but things have been going. Well, now it's interesting that ESPN felt the need to issue these comments publicly, and it's likely that they felt that the initial report painted both ESPN and WWE in a negative light. It's also worth noting that if the numbers were indeed disappointing and ESPN were having buyer's remorse, then they wouldn't come out and say this publicly. Saying this just a month into the contract would be a terrible business move and ultimately shatter the business relationship between WWE and ESPN. Luckily for ESPN, they have a number of big events coming up over the next year, and events such as the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania should, in theory, help the deal become a major success. Naomi provides a hilarious update on Baby Fatu. WWE Women's World Champion has revealed a sonogram image over Baby at 16 weeks, showing what appears to be Baby Fatu yeeting as she shared the image on Instagram, noting it was crazy that the baby seemed to be heating so early in pregnancy. Of course, the post drew a warm response from fans and fellow wrestlers, including Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax, reacting to the hilarious caption. Now, Naomi announced her pregnancy this year, which led to a relinquishing the championship title. While she'll be on a break from in-ring competition, hopefully she'll be making a big return in 2027. Next up, WWE urged to push this star. WWE's evidently high on Breaker. However, there's been some criticism directed at the way WWE handled his booking on Raw this week. Breaker looked like an absolute star on last week's Raw by attacking Seth Rollins and walking off with the world title. Several candid images of Breaker with the world title were going viral, and WWE could have easily gone all the way with Breaker being the guy. Unfortunately, WWE decided to have Breaker hand the world title back, and he wasn't even featured in the Battle Royal. One former WWE name who is urging WWE to push Breaker to the moon is Dolph Ziggler. Appearing on Busted Open Radio, Ziggler stated that WWE have nothing to lose by putting Breaker in a main event spot. There's one way to find out. Throw his ass in the deep end and let's go. Because if you're getting behind find somebody a lot of people have been bringing up the last few years, and especially the last few weeks and months. If somebody's ready and they're not 45, who the hell cares? Put them in the main event and give them a shot. Give them a chance. It used to be sink or swim. Why not do it now? You've taken care of these people. You put them in a great spot. They look like breakout stars ready to happen. You gotta give them the big shot and see if they deliver. There's no reason why WWE can't fully commit to a breaker push. Like Ziggler said, WWE should be giving new talents a chance to get over in the main event picture. WWE has been called out recently for not having enough young talent in the main event scene. Most names that are competing for the world title are over 40 years old. And whilst this currently isn't a huge issue, they would without a doubt need to make stars, as there is going to come a day where these hugely popular names retire and WWE is going to be without big players in the main event scene. We have been quietly teasing a matchup between Breakker and Roman Reigns, and now with Seth Rollins out of action, all signs point to that being one of the top matches on the WrestleMania card next year. WWE are without a doubt building up young stars in the background, such as Breakker and Dominic Mysterio, but the question is, are they going to go all the way with them and make them main event level attractions? Next up, where is AJ Lee? Lee has seemingly disappeared off the face of the earth since WrestlePalooza. It was widely reported that AJ had signed a full-time WWE deal, but that full-time deal either isn't in full effect as of yet, or the report was incorrect. Yesterday, news broke out that AJ had taken a Facebook to state that she's currently on a book tour and she's coming back for Becky Lynch in the women's IC title. However, it turns out that this post was from a fake Facebook account and not from AJ's personal Facebook. With that being said, it looks like AJ has other commitments outside of WWE, such as book tours, and it's likely that when she finishes these commitments off, she will return to WWE on a full-time basis. WWE have evidently set up a future match between AJ and Lynch, and they wouldn't have had AJ tap out Lynch if the two were never going to have a 1v1 matchup. A likely destination for the matchup is Survivor Series, as it's a Big Four event, and with the Vision versus Team CM Punk War Games match likely being scrapped. WWE needs big-time matches on the undercard to sell the show. Up were the New Day leaving WWE. The New Day recently signed new WWE deals, and before their signings were made official, it was rumored that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods may try their luck in another promotion. A recent Fightful Select Q&A has shed some light on these rumors, and according to Fightful, both names wanted to stay, but when it came to Woods, he was willing to do what was best for him. I heard almost nothing at all regarding Kofi Kingston's negotiations at all, so I'm not sure how those went. I heard that Xavier came down to the wire, and it was a very light situation. From what I was told, he wanted to stay, but was also in a position where he didn't have to compromise and was willing to do what was best for him. Ultimately, that was staying with the WWE. I heard no conversations between them and AEW. At the New Day, leaving WWE would have been insane, but the two are likely WWE lifers and will retire in the company. Goldberg throws shade at Asuka. A recent interview on Real Talk with Mike Burke, it seemed that wrestling legend Goldberg threw some unnecessary shade at Asuka as he expressed some frustration with how WWE handled Asuka's historic undefeated run, implying it was a deliberate echo of his own WCW streak. However, in the interview, he couldn't even name Asuka after saying WWE had already replicated it. They already did some girl at WWE. They did it on purpose. I have nothing against the girl by any means, but yeah, some girl that Goldberg mentioned happens to be Asuka, who had a 904-day undefeated streak across NXT and WWE's main roster. Now, Goldberg suggests that WWE still harbors resentment towards his WCW's past dominance. I think there's always going to be the bird in their ass that I was a part of the company where I was the champion in a very short period of time and we were beating them in the ratings. Fans are certainly not happy with Goldberg, as he could have mentioned Asuka's name and it just seemed disrespectful not to. Triple H praise. 25, Triple H has received mixed reviews for his work as head of WWE Creative from fans. However, one WWE legend has decided to publicly praise the game, and this legend is none other than Kurt Angle. Speaking on the Ariel Helwani show, Angle stated that Triple H is doing incredibly well, and TKO made the right decision by putting him in charge. He's doing incredibly well. I'm so proud of him. He's a great leader. The thing is, him being retired and out of the business, he really looks at it as, I need to focus on this business and make it the best it can be. He's done that incredibly well. I think TKO made the right decision on making him in charge of creative. I think he's doing an amazing job at the game, and Angle embarked in numerous heated rivalries during the 2000s in WWE. The two evidently have a ton of respect and admiration for each other.